Good day, everyone. I am Christine Maybisabihon, a B.Ed third-year student at Negros Oriental State University, Shatin campus. And today, I am very excited to present to you this topic entitled Speech and Oral Communication. Communication is at the heart of teaching. Every instruction we give, every question we ask, and every explanation we made depends on how well we communicate. That is why this topic is very important to us as future teachers and also as let takers. But before that, this is our learning objectives for these lessons. And in these presentations, we will also discuss about types or forms of communication, the communication process, the models of communications, the sounds of spoken English, barriers to effective communication, nonverbal communication, audience analysis and adaptation, types of speeches, and ethical and responsible communication. So, what is speech and oral communication? Instead of thinking speech and oral communication as just definitions, think of them as what we do every day when we speak and listen. Speech and oral communication is how we express our ideas, opinions, and emotions using spoken language. When we speak clearly, our listeners can understand clearly. If we don't speak clearly or disorganized, misunderstanding can happen. And as future teachers, it is our goal to speak in a way that our students can remember easily, follow easily, and understand easily. Communication does not happen only in one way. We communicate in different ways depending on the situation. Intrapersonal communication happens within ourselves. This includes thinking, reflecting, and mentally rehearsing what we are going to say. Interpersonal communication happens between two people, such as a conversation between a teacher and a student. Public communication happens when several people interact to each other, like group discussions or collaborative activities. Public communication happens when a speaker addresses to a large audience, such as teaching class or speaking a speech. So, question. Pause the video and comment your answers below. Communication is not just about talking, it is also a process. First, the sender thinks of an idea, then encodes it into words or gestures. The idea becomes a message. The message is sent through a channel, like speaking, writing, or showing visuals. Then, the receiver receives the message or decodes the message based on understanding or experience. Finally, feedback happens when the receiver responds to the message. So I have here a question. Pause the video and comment your answers below. The communication process can be explained in different models. First, the linear model is one way. The speaker talks and the audience listens. The interactive models allows feedback. The speaker talks, the audience responds, and the speakers adjust. The transactional models happens when communication flows at both ways at the same times. The speakers and listeners receives and sends message simultaneously through words, actions, or questions. Again, I have here a question. Pause the video and comment your answers below. Segmental features refers to an individual sounds, specifically vowels and consonants. For example, mispronouncing a vowel sound can change one word into another word, which may confuse learners. So the stress refers to emphasis placed on certain syllables or sounds. The intonation is the rise and fall of the voice. The rhythm is the refers to the pattern or stress and unstress in syllables. The juncture and linking involves how words are separated and connected in speech. So have you mispronounced a word lately or before? And how did you manage it? Can you answer it in the comment section? Next is nonverbal communication. So it refers to all the message we send without using any words. So we have here different types or kinds of nonverbal communication. So we have kinesics, so it involves body movement. Proxemics, it is the use of space. Haptics, it involves touch. Eukolesics, it refers to eye contact. Vocalics refers to voice, tone, or pitch. So I have here again a question. Just pause the video and answer it in the comments section. Barriers to communication prevents the message from being clearly understood. So we have here the 4 barriers to effective communication. First is the physical barriers. So here it involves the distance and the noise of the environment or the faulty equipment that disrupts the communication. Next is the semantic barriers. So it occurs when the language used is too technical or unfamiliar to the students. Third is the psychological barriers. So it involves emotions, attitudes, or biases that affects how messages are interrupted. And lastly is the cultural barriers. So it arises from different values, beliefs, and perspective of the listeners or the speakers. So again, I have a question. Just answer in the comment section. Audience analysis means understanding who you are communicating with before you deliver your message. You should know their age, background, knowledge level, interests, and needs. Then you need to adapt your content, tone, delivery to ensure meaningful and effective communication. For example, speeches are classified into purpose and delivery, especially in teaching and formal presentations. So, an informative speech aims to provide knowledge or to explain concepts clearly. A persuasive speech aims to influence beliefs or actions, while the entertainment speech aims to engage or amuse the audience. In terms of delivery, the impromptu speeches are done without preparation, while the extemporaneous speeches are prepared but delivered manually. The manuscript speeches are read word by word, and memorized speeches are delivered from memory. So teachers often use extemporaneous speeches because it sounds naturally yet organized. So again, comment your answers from these questions in the comment section. So, ethical communication means speaking with honesty, accuracy, respect, fairness, and responsibility. And as future teachers, we must respect different viewpoints and present the information responsibly. And again, I have here a question and just answer it in the comment section. Now, let us apply what we discussed into real-life classroom situations because Communication skills are not just learned, they are practiced daily by teachers. So, in the classroom, the teachers must use simple instructions, use appropriate tone and pronunciation, and observes learners' reaction to check, of course, their understanding and the nonverbal communication such as gestures, body movement, and eye contact helps the students manage the class and helps them get engaged to the discussion. Teachers should be also aware of the communication barriers. So when learners look confused, effective teachers adjust by simplifying the words and don't use jargons or technically hard words that may cause confusion to the learners. So, audience analysis allows teachers to adapt lessons based on the age, backgrounds, and needs of the students. Ethical and responsible communications ensures fairness, respect, and accuracy when interactions with peers, parents, and colleagues. If you have any suggestions or how you can apply these concepts, you can also comment it below in the comment section. Before we end, let us discuss the key terms or ideas from this presentation. Speech and oral communication are essential skills for teachers because it affects how lessons are understood and how students respond in the classroom. Now, let us all read again the definitions of the topic. So, communication involves different forms, processes, and models that explain how messages are sent, received, and interpreted. Sound features and nonverbal communication influence meaning, clarity, and engagement, while communication barriers can prevent message to be clearly understood by the listeners and if they are not properly addressed. Audience analysis reminds us that effective communication must always consider the learner's age, background, knowledge level, interests, and needs. Finally, the ethical and responsible communication guides teachers to speak with honesty, fairness, responsibility, and accountability. So again, you know naman na this is the qualities that are important in both teaching practice and in the licensure examination for teachers. If you have any takeaways or your reflection while watching this video, you can also comment down below. To conclude, speech and oral communication are essential skills for us as teachers. How we speak, listen, and respond affects understanding, classroom interaction, and learning. And for the LET exam, focus on the understanding of the concepts rather than memorizing the definition, okay? So most of the questions are situationals. So you must practice the skills of communication forms, barriers, models, and ethical communication in classroom scenarios. So pay attention to the keywords um, in every question because this will help you analyze and think critically what is the answer of that question. And again, thank you for watching this presentation. I really appreciate it a lot. Just stay confident, trust yourself, and I wish you all the best. Again, thank you for watching this video. Thank you and God bless.